Hello, welcome to the Nantifoyle Model Railway. Now, I want to continue on with our exhibition project. The original one which I made, which was a Dolydd, I haven't touched that in such a long time. One of the main reasons I'm not really too happy with it. It's very big, it's very bulky, and to be honest, for a shelf layout, it doesn't really suit. It was supposed to be quite, I suppose, a novel idea of having the shelf layout which I could take to exhibitions, but it sort of made for quite a boring layout really. So, I want something that is quite exciting. Now, I've recently joined my local model club, and that's given me quite a good insight into how they've made their exhibition layouts, and I've gotten some advice on how to make the baseboards, etc, etc. So I think with all of that, I want to start again, have something a little bit different, and with a bit of hindsight, hopefully we'll make something a bit better. I still want to keep the general idea going from the last layout that I had. So the main idea is keeping it very simple. Now, I don't want it to be a completely straight line like I was planning, but to have a single line, not having a run around, so the trains just go up and down and that's it. Because I don't want to have something where, if I take it to an exhibition, I don't want it to break and the whole railway sort of falls apart, So keeping it very simple is definitely an important thing there. Now, I was going through and doing some research over local railways, and one of the railways which jumped out at me was the Dolydd branch. That railway had no provisions of running around, and I was thinking, well, hang on a minute, how does everything work like that? And it works how I was hoping. The goods trains will propel up and pull down. The passenger trains, they were operated originally by L&WR steam rail motors, and then they moved on to auto trains. So that in itself is something really exciting. With that in mind, I think the Dolydd branch line is something I want to do. I have wanted to do a bit of an early sort of L&WR era, maybe sort of 1880s around there. I have really wanted to do something like that before, so this will be, I think, the perfect layout to do that. Anyway, I'll stop waffling and I will show you what I am thinking. We'll be splitting the layout into two parts. We've got our station part, and we also have sort of a bit of a scenic module as well. It's small enough that it will fit in the car, big enough it is interesting in some sense. Okay, I suppose I'll talk you through it. We've got the main sort of station here. It's just a single line, no run around of course, because it's Dolydd. It's modelled very, I suppose, loosely off of the real station. We'll have a low relief platform here, station building, and a footbridge to take you across. Now, most of that will be of my own design. The original station at Dolydd was really low relief. I think it was just a sort of sleeper with a sort of gravel, affair. Yeah, I will be making a proper platform here. Low relief, of course, but something nice. The original Dolydd station did have a little bit of a goods yard. I've simplified that down to just being a siding. We can store some things on there just to make it, look a bit pretty. But it's something a little bit more interesting than a sort of single line, as it were. What we have then as well here, as you can see, we've got a sort of spur that goes into nothingness. What I want to do is have a bit of a fiddle yard here, and that will allow trains to come from the main scene into the station here. They can wait as another train can then come up or down or whatever from the other fiddle yard in that corner. So, it gives us a little bit more opportunities to sort of run the layout how I want. And there's not really anything more to say other than we have got two signals here. Now, the real station didn't have any signalling. In fact, the whole line didn't have signalling apart from at Prestatyn, where it joined onto the main line. But I've got two signals just lying about, so I thought, you know what, you may as well just plonk them on the line. It gives something a bit nicer to look at. May not be prototypical, but it does look good. Okay, I suppose we'll move on, shall we? Now this is our second module here. One thing I forgot to mention was this bridge. This is such I suppose such a unique and important thing to Dyserth, is this sort of viaduct here. It's an absolutely beautiful viaduct that takes the road over the railway, and it's quite important to Dyserth, so I thought I would put that there. Conveniently, it will hide the join here onto the next module. Now this is something, I just wanted something quite simple. This is a scale 6-chain radius curve, so it's quite tight as far as trains are concerned, but actually it's still realistic. It's a tight corner, it's a tight curve, but a realistic curve. The only thing then which I want to do with this, just to sort of spice it up I suppose, make it a bit more interesting, is here, from that little node to that one, I would like to get a viaduct in. Only a little one, a very sort of low viaduct, probably a lattice girder, something similar to that. Again, it's just something just to make it a little bit more interesting, but hopefully that will look quite good. This then here will be the main fiddle yard going out through there. Not too sure what I'll do, probably I'll just have a couple roads with a transverser table there. But as you can see, I've kept it very simple and hopefully it will look quite good. So I suppose we'll move on to actually making it. Well, this is the table complete. What I've done... So this is the table complete. I'll just go quite quickly through it. If I flip it over, you'll see what we've been able to do. There we go. Are you still able to see? Yes, you can. Okay, so basically all that we've done is put two long beams here, and then we've got the beam at the bottom, beam at the top. That is completely flush with the side there, just to make sure that it will definitely fit onto the other board, which will go that end. But yes, just to give it some more strength. And of course we have the beams at the in the middle there, just to make sure it's not going to twist or anything. But so hopefully that should be alright. What we have, how basically I've screwed it together, is we've got these main boards and these which are screwed in from the top. Just to give it some extra strength, we've got screws going in through these sides to join up these as well. So hopefully that should be all okay. And yeah. Right, well I'll flip it over and I'll tell you what we'll do next. Now with the cork, what I have is this stuff. Now this, I think it's Jarvis, if I remember correctly. 3mm, 2 foot by 3 foot sort of cork sheet. Now I've bought one of these hoping that it would fill the whole thing, and it has, apart from that little gap there. But not to worry, I've got some spare knocking about, so will cut that up. But all I've done is sort of just cut it up so it will fit here. What I want to do is just show you quickly a great way of cutting cork quite easily. So this one here, we've only got 2 cuts to make. That's the straight edge and there's the straight edge as well. And all I'm going to do is, I've got quite a big kitchen knife because I find that this really helps with the cutting. But what I'll do is I will align this properly here, and we'll make one cut here. Shall we do it this way? That seems a little bit more sensible, doesn't it? There we go. What we'll do, we'll make one cut here, and what I found is that if you sort of score it like that, if you sort of score it, and then you can sort of bend it, you see, like that, and what you get is a really easy way of getting straight lines. You don't have to cut all the way through, you just need to score it, and job's a good one. Okay, this one will be a little bit more tricky. That seems about straight. We go down there. That's not straight, is it? There we go. There we go. We'll score that. Just come back. Hopefully that's done it enough now, so we can start bending this. It'll start splitting, and we have that really nice, crisp, straight line. I find that this works really well, and it's how I've cut the rest up. Okay, shall we start gluing this all down then? There we go. And of course what we're using is copy decks. It's really, really good. I do love this stuff. It smells a bit, which is why I'm not in the upstairs, I'm downstairs with some good ventilation. Shall we crack open the bottle? And what I'm going to do with this is sort of spread it on, pretty much on sort of where the cork ends, just to make sure that all of these sides are stuck down properly. I'm not a fan of this applicator brush, I've got to be honest, but it's the only thing I've really got. Yeah, we'll go around the perimeter just to make sure that the cork is 100% stuck down, and by the time we've done that, hopefully this shall have enough time to sort of do its thing, because we don't want to apply this straight to the cork, especially because cork is quite absorbent. So what we'll do is we'll let this go tacky, which should take about sort of, I think it says about 10 minutes on the bottle. I'll have to reread it. But yeah, we'll just do that. Just going to put some extra care into the corners, because they always seem to stick up, don't they? You know, when you put down a piece of paper or whatnot, the corners always are the first to lift up, aren't they? Right, well, I'm not too sure what happened there, but my camera decided to switch itself off. But yes, we've got the copy decks down. We just want to wait, you know, just I think it's about 10 minutes or so, just for it to go tacky, and then we'll stick on the cork. Well, it always helps if your camera has enough storage, doesn't it? Anyway, it's been about a quarter of an hour now, so hopefully this should be all okay. I'm going to put the first bit of cork on, just basically plop it on. It definitely is tacky, which is a good start. One of the great things I love about this is because you have to wait for it to get tacky, you've got a lot of working time with it, which is brilliant, especially if you make a mistake or whatnot. It is very good. Is that all okay? That's all flush there. Stick that all out. And that. Hopefully that should be okay. Let's move on now to which piece is it? Is it this piece? Should go on this way here. Lovely. Lovely fit. Just wondering whether or not I should leave this a little bit longer. Oh no, it seems to be okay actually, so that's fine. There seems to be a bit of a lump there. What's that? Get rid of that. Hopefully that hasn't disturbed that too much actually. I think I've ripped out the glue on that, which that's fine. We'll just put a bit more on, but yeah, we'll move on anyway to this piece here. Should go on. Oh no, we want to put this piece for now in there. Where that all joins up, so that should be fine, and then we'll put this piece on because that acts as a little bit of a spacer there, so that should be fine. Oh, bollocks, that's not the right piece. Oh, something always has to go wrong, doesn't it? I'll just add a little bit more to this because I think we've disturbed this a little bit too much. Just to make sure, we'll just put a little bit more on here. I mean, you know, this is where the station is going to be, so we don't really want it sort of coming up, do we? I think what we'll do is I'll leave this for a couple minutes. It should still be alright. It just won't be as tacky as the other one, but it'll do. It will do. Right, well, I am happy with this. This has gone very well. It's stuck down really nicely, which is exactly what I wanted. The next job then is to stick down the roadbed, but it's getting quite late, so I think that'll be a job for tomorrow, so I'll see you in the morning. Okay, well, it's a new day and it's time to put the rubber track bed on. This is what I'll be using. This is Woodland Scenic's foam rubber track bed. Now, it's quite expensive, I have to admit, but if it works very, very well, I will use it for the main layout. But I suppose until we put it on, we won't know how it sort of performs. But how are we going to put it on? Because of course, getting the track plan onto the actual board will be quite difficult. Now, this method I have shamelessly stolen from somebody else, but what it involves is tacking your plan down to the board, which is brilliant. We've got the cork there, so it's really easy to tack it down. And then what we'll do is we'll cut out along the centre line the track bed, and then we will mark it with my marker, which I have placed down somewhere. But yes, let's do that then. This is pretty much a brand new blade, so hopefully this should be enough. All I want to do is basically cut out the centre line because that's what we'll be using. And and we are going to do this sort of layer by layer, which is why I've tacked down the pins here. Let's go on there. There we go, so now we can release this here, like so, and then what we're going to do is mark, there it is, got this Sharpie basically, and then we're just going to go along the edge. I think I'll start from here, like so, and we will just mark up where this centre line was. We'll do that. What I've done is I've cut out the whole of the black line, so we can, well, basically we are just replacing the black line with this orange one here onto the cork. And then this will become our new centre line, of course. Lovely jubbly. Right, so the next one that we're going to do is we're going to follow this line up here. So let's go ahead and start doing that. We'll leave the tacks in just for now. And we'll follow this lower one, because obviously we don't want to cut the top one just yet, because we won't have we won't have a basis to cut the bottom one. Is this our big long straight, which it is? Rightio, what I'm going to do now is just remove these tacks here, like so, and then we can start removing it from this side. Now what I'll just do is I'll cut along here, like so, and then I'll just cut this off. There we go, so we know where the track ends then. Put that up there, and then we'll mark this out. We'll just mark this out. I'm just going to touch up just a few bits here where I haven't quite marked enough there, and then there we go. Rightio, well that is that all done. So the only thing I've got to do is remove all of these pins, take off this piece of paper, and then we can start sticking on the roadbed. Now, one of the reasons why I am using the centre line to do all my markings with is because of this. In the middle here we can split the roadbed in half. This gives us a centre line to work from. If you're working from one of the rails, let's say the left hand or the right hand rail, obviously you print your sketch out with the rails showing. But yes, that's just why I've done that there. So I've pretty much finished cutting out all of the pieces of roadbed, but I thought I'd just show you how I'm doing it. Pretty much what I'm doing is I'm getting a piece like this, cutting it down on that centre line there, which it has, just to split it in half. Like so. Just do this side as accurately as possible, of course. There we go. Split that in half, and then all that I'm doing is going along, finding the centre line there. Oh, they don't quite match. The only annoying thing about these, I do have to say, is that they're not always an even size. So sometimes the line is slightly off centre, which is admittedly annoying. But all I'm going to do, I'm just going to tack that into place there. Just where it comes around the corner, I'll say I need to tack it there. And then I'll just tack it on this side as well, just because this one's going around the corner. When you've got a straight, you can pretty much just get away with tacking the one side there. And then pretty much we'll do the same, so we want to tack one down here. I find that when you're tacking the corners down, to sort of do it in a bit of a zigzag pattern like that, that just does the trick, that. So that's brilliant. And then we'll just tack one down. Let's say we'll put one there, and then we'll just tack one at the end, and then we'll cut it. And this is pretty much what I've been doing. Able to just. There we go. For point work and that, it's a little bit more complicated. What I'll do with this one probably is where these will meet, so about there, I'll start cutting off this sloping section. Cut off the sloping section so we've just got the nice flat top, and then just sort of fill it all in. There's no real sort of way of doing it, I think, so I think it's just anything goes really. Anyway, I will do that and I will be right back. Well, that is that all stuck down now. I'm quite happy with it really. It wasn't too difficult to do, it just took quite a long time, to be honest. It can be a little bit fiddly when you get to the point, just because of how all of the track converges. But apart from that, the straight pieces are a doddle, the curved pieces are super simple as well. But yes, I suppose we'll get to sticking it all down. Right, I think the best course of action here is probably just to glue this down section by section. So I suppose we shall start here. And all I want to do is just glue down this piece, then we'll move on to the others, just so that we don't sort of lose track of where all these pieces are going, because of course we've got to let the glue sort of do its thing beforehand. It's very similar to what we're doing, well, with what we did with the cork. I don't like this brush. But yes, what we'll just do is we'll stick this down, well, put the glue down, leave it for, what's it, 15-20 minutes, come back to it, put this down, and then we'll move on to the next section. I just want to make sure that I've put enough glue on.
because of course this is really the most important thing. Righto, I think that is enough there. I have numbered these, so I think I will also do this one as well. I have numbered them 1, 2, 3 and 4. Just do that, because I see that I'm getting glue sort of everywhere here, aren't I? You know what, I may as well take this one as well while I'm at it. There we go. Now it goes down there, doesn't it? I think for the point work and whatnot, I think it might just be best to remove the whole thing and just to glue the entire section down all at once. Just because there's so many kind of pieces, and very small pieces as well, I want to make sure that everything is stuck down 100% properly. There we go. Right, I will, I'm just going to add a little touch there. I think that would be important, wouldn't it? Then we'll just touch up this end, and then I will come back in about a quarter of an hour. Rightio, well it has been 15 minutes, and what I'll do is I'll start sticking all of these down. So it's just pretty much just where they went originally, hopefully, which it is. This is tacky enough now so that we don't actually have to use the drawing pins anymore. We can just stick this down how it was supposed to be. I was a little bit worried actually that the glue would sort of hide the centre line, but it hasn't really done that, so that's a brilliant thing for us. I have not put that on quite properly there, have I? There we go. Stick this one down. Lovely. This one's number 3. That goes in there. And this one is number 4, which I possibly could have put a little bit more glue on this one. Let's take out that. There we go. Put this right up there. Now, just to weigh it down, it shouldn't come off, but just in case it does, what I'm going to do is put down a piece of rail, and if you followed the last series you'll know what will be next. Drinks cans. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant weights, so they can just go in there. Lovely jubbly. This video is not sponsored by Bar, before you say. If we pop one there we go. That will do. And I have one for me. Well, that is all the road bed stuck down now, and I think it looks pretty good myself. I can't really do anything more, I can't really do any more progress until I have all the track pieces. I have got everything apart from a Y point which needs to go there, and I can't really start anything until I've got that in place really.
but we'll see. I did order it a couple of days ago, but it still hasn't come, which is unlike Rails of Sheffield, I've got to be honest. So we'll see when that comes. I think I'll have to give them a little prompt. Regardless, anyway, I think it looks absolutely brilliant. We've made quite a lot of progress this week on it already, so I'm excited to see this finished. But yes, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please do leave a like or a comment, and if you really did enjoy this series and want to see some more, please do consider subscribing. But yes, well, I suppose I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.